Hello, everyone, and welcome to Got Thrones, a Game of Thrones podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra August, and with me is my co-host, Johnny Kolizinski.
Hello, everyone. We are recording this immediately after season 1, episode 6 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, The Morrow.
A Night of the Nine Kingdoms.
Yeah, sorry, Night of the Nine
But
Kingdoms.
yeah,
Somebody should have caught that in post.
it feels obvious. We are doing immediate reactions to this very exciting episode, and we will do a deep dive later this week. Where could people find us in the meantime, Johnny?
In the meantime, you can find us on Instagram at Got Thrones, all one word, on TikTok at Got_Thrones, and on YouTube at Got Thrones Podcast, in all one word. And of course, wherever you're listening now or wherever you choose to listen to podcasts.
We are feeling out ourselves in a video more video centric environment. Maybe not video centric, but a video heavy environment. But this is still primarily an audio podcast, so you are getting the fullest version of it when you're listening to your headphones on a podcast.
I didn't want to shave. That's really it.
But we like to make sure that everybody can get it wherever they want it. So that's why we include YouTube. And we also have a lot of fun on socials because we want people to know how funny we are beyond just,
Yes.
this.
Yes.
So yeah, we are going to launch into our 60-second, just emotional venting before we get into our recap. So be prepared. We are very excited for this. Johnny, let's go first.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the first 35 seconds of the episode and the opening with Jazz in Westeros. What the hell? That was brilliant. It was so different. It was so jarring in the best way possible. It took pardon me. It took so much guts to do it. Especially when you consider the fact that this is the equivalent of if they'd killed Ned Stark last week and then opened the next episode with, I don't know, somebody singing Fame. Like, not quite that far, but it is so out of left field. And I think drew everyone who might have been a little bit on their phones during that House of the Dragon preview trailer would have just done a total, like, spit take to it, basically. It was amazing.
Yep, and I gave you a few more extra seconds because of your cough, and I thought that was fair.
Thank you.
All right,
Yep.
I'll thank you. No, for post. Okay, all right. Thank you for talking about the music because I will not talk about the music now, and I can cover some. I was worried about what I was going to talk about. And now I have more space.
Okay, let me know when you are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. I've never seen such a nice Targaryen family moment. Like, quite literally, we have not. When Maekar, like, walked over to his little boy, who earlier in the episode wore a cap, and just, like, touched his little shoulders, and, like, a leg is just so tired, and he just starts crying. And, like, Maekar is clearly not good at, like, physical affection. I feel like that's not his love language. I'm gonna go with, if I had to pull it out of my head, I would say gifting. But, like, that was incredible. And then, like, beyond that, like, they're gonna have to give Lyonel a show. No one's going to watch the first like 10 minutes of this series and then come back to the universe of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms and not get some kind of, you got us hooked. You got us hooked. You gave us our first bit for free. And then we get this wonderful long scene where he is clearly so lonely. He's clearly so bereft of anybody who understands him. He's convinced there's going to be a war. He's getting very bored. And all he wants is a friend. All he wants is a friend. And he's honest and he was vulnerable. And he was right. He fought for Dunk, and so did Raymond, and so did Sir Robin Riesling, and so did Beesbury, and so did Humphrey. And he was right. Lord Baylor did have people that were going to protect him, but it hurts his case that Lord Baylor was the only person who died.
I gave you a little extra time because this is the final episode, and so
Oh, energy. I'm so perfectly satisfied by this.
yeah,
Should we talk about this episode?
yeah,
Did you have
yeah.
good?
Let's just hop in, do our little recap, and get things rolling.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I guys, jazz music has made it to Westeros. It has crossed like the narrow sea of time and space. And we open with Dunk looking up at spectacular with a crutch, an antler crutch, Lionel Baratheon, and a maester who is apparently just very bad at his job. And I don't know that he is necessarily, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
Lionel, yeah, yeah. Lionel does the thing that like the way that Dunk is in such a bad mood, but has also kind of won this whole thing. Lionel makes him an offer. Like Lionel offers him a job. Dunk could have walked
yeah,
away from this tournament with every single thing that he wanted and a new best friend. Um, but Dunk is like, and he doesn't want to. And Lionel is
yeah.
like a little insulted by this, which I love. This is the last we will see of Sir Lionel Baratheon this season, and Daniel Ings makes every use of every inch of this.
Oh my goodness.
It was so
Uh,
good.
I loved the moment of, well, of where there's basically, and I don't have the exact lines, but the, well, we're going to be fighting on one side or the other was very uh
Ominous. Or
yes, and
yeah, yeah.
ominous.
I also like I don't he's all like there's a war coming and I'm like really sir, I feel like that sounds suspicious that you know that maybe you are where the war is coming from.
Hmm.
But, no spoilers for that. Just kidding.
Except
We don't
for,
know.
the ones we covered
Yes.
2 days
Yes.
ago.
Those spoilers. So yeah, Dunk does after Lionel makes like a heated entreaty for Dunk to give him this attention and be his buddy. Dunk says he'll think about it, and then Lionel skirts off and is like, "Yeah, whatever."
Go to
And
your
says
barbecue.
he's like, "I'll see you after the roast," and like then they immediately cut to Baylor's funeral. In case you were wondering about the tone of this show, and Baylor is at rest on a pyre, and then we get that line that's just like that scene between Valar, who's Baylor's son, and Dunk, and
Hmm.
Valar is like, I really also don't know why my dad died for you. I can see why you would be questioning that. And Dunk is just like, okay. And the sort of
Yeah,
Charlie Brown vibe continues as he
that's exactly where I was
wanders
going to go with it.
through the camp that's breaking down, and it is definitely people have got their Sunday scaries going on as they are packing up their tents and getting ready to head out.
Hmm. Then we see our favorite Fossaway, and now officially a Green Apple Hossaway, Raymond, who he's moved out. He's got a little starter home with his new wife Rowan, who is absolutely not a prostitute.
Rowan,
Uh,
that's her name,
hmm.
and they got pregnant that
uh,
night.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, 100%. She knows, and she knows it's a boy. Every part of that was just glorious.
It's a win-win. No one loses
Hmm.
here.
Yeah. Uh,
Raymond needs Rowan, or else Raymond's gonna get eaten by something.
yeah. We did find out that Sevros did make it through, but Raymond thinks he cracked a couple ribs.
And also, like Raymond does have a really good attitude about it. I enjoyed his like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Less good attitude coming from Makar, who summons Dunk uh, to the hall. Before he gets there, again, this is kind of a conversation we were having on the last episode, but Gwyn Ashford shows up and says that she doesn't blame Dunk for ruining her birthday.
And then she like went to the septa and gave herself a sainthood because no one has ever been as good as Gwyn Ashford after her birthday was ruined. And
Hmm.
she lays her hands upon the disgusting and lowly Hedge Knight who ruined everything.
With his rope belt.
Yes, she gave him her favor.
Yeah.
Not really.
Uh, it- Makar gives us an update as far as what's going to be happening with the remaining Targaryens. Aerion is getting sent off to boarding school in the Free Cities. Um, we already know that Aemon has gotten sent to the Citadel to become a maester. He shows
Med
up.
school.
Yeah, he's going to med school. Um, and I don't think we got an actual update as far as what Daeron's going to be doing.
I think we
Um,
saw all we need to see of Darren because
yeah,
he's just going to be hungover for the rest of his life.
yeah. Uh, Makar gives the honestly like what we're seeing, what we saw from Makar is very introspective. Uh, and basically says, yeah, everyone's gonna say that I killed my brother so that I could be king, and every time anything goes wrong, it'll be, well, Baylor would have done it better, and he's not wrong. And he also said every time people see Dunk, he's gonna be the man that that Baylor died for, and so he's gonna bear the same weight.
Comfort
Um,
is not Makar's like core competency. I would
no,
not list that on his
no,
resume.
I think that lurking is really his core competency.
Scowling.
uh makes the offer of, hey, Egg needs to be a squire. Egg says he'll only be your squire. uh so you're hired. uh we'll finish training you to be a knight because there's some things you don't know, like you think there's seven kingdoms. uh, uh Dunk once again passes. Dunk says he's done with princes. Dunk has good reason for this.
I
Egg
nothing
overhears
that
it.
yeah. I Dunk is extremely wise.
Yeah,
I feel like we got a lot of note like especially when I was like looking at the prostitute and Raymond and how Dunk is like okay. And it's like, you know,
yeah.
when you make a new best friend and you've got like BFF, like puppy love, and you're like, you're the best person in the world. Oh my God, you're great. Did we just become best friends? Like this has happened to me in many bathrooms. And then like sometimes unfortunately it works out that you walk out a couple of steps in that friendship and you know, not everybody's an all the time person.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Raymond makes a lot of impulsive decisions that I don't hate, but I don't know that I'm hitching my wagon to Raymond and the cider press.
uh It is a very good thing that Raymond didn't spend more time with Lionel, because
Yes.
Raymond would have ended up like in jail in Tijuana.
Yes. Like somehow he would have left Westeros and wound up in Tijuana. And Lionel would be like, I told you I'd be back.
Yeah,
You were just supposed to wait there. Si se puede. It's not with him.
I I wanted to go to the place where they invented the Caesar salad.
Si, I
We didn't even have Caesar salad.
told
Like,
you to stay.
this is not my fault.
This is an improvement. We needed the Caesar salad. I told him to stay. Jesus Christ. I gotta go. This maester's an idiot. We're gonna more on Lionel in the deep dive. I'm sorry, but I
uh,
interrupted you.
and then after the eavesdropping, we do have Egg basically breaking Dunk's heart back and saying, maybe you're not the knight that I thought you were.
The way that little boy was so extra, the way that I have as like an 8-year old in my prime, just like you just had a little bit of cute kid left that you could have a little bit of leverage and like oh man, little Egg who's just like I'm such which in all you know in all reality this is Egg is really bummed like everything is working out the way
Yeah.
it is supposed to. Why can't they just go back to doing what they were doing? Um,
This is the youngest daughter in Hook saying you need a mommy very badly.
oh I agree with you about Makar and his introspection. I think that's something that I had forgotten about in the book during the reread because I had forgotten about Baylor's untimely death, and it was this is the my favorite. This is the only part of Makar that I like. It's the only part of Makar in the story that I like. Um, maybe and like or at least in the novella, and I like how they. I think Sam Spruill was. Everyone, go watch Fargo right now. The last just watch it. because you deserve it. You're a good person, and you deserve to see Sam Spruill at his king finest. In addition to this, which is great. Um,
But what happens next in the show that we are discussing?
what happens next in this show that we are discussing is that we get another little flashback, and it's really sweet of Arlen and Dunk underneath the tree, and it looks like the spot where he dies.
Hmm.
The spot where we catch up with Dunk and it's raining at the beginning of the series, and he tells Dunk a story that I think we get in the novella, which is that all of the when wherever Arlen is from,
Penny
whenever
Tree.
the Lord, oh yeah, whenever the Lord's called up, whenever the liege lords called up the young men to fight, which is what they would do. That's part of serfdom. You farmed the land, and then you got to be called up in whatever war your liege lord was fighting, which sucked for a lot of people, as you can imagine. And Arlen says that each of those boys who left pushed a penny into the tree and swore that they would come back and get it. And when he pushed one into the tree, there was basically no space left because they all died
Hmm.
and never came back, um, which is very sad. Um, but again, also underscores how miraculous it is that Arlen of Pennytree got as far as he did in as good a shape as he was.
Yeah.
And so, something that we didn't mention last week, when we catch up with Arlen in the first flashback, he's getting up from having buried someone.
Hmm.
And I don't know if we ever find out who that is, but I noticed that because when we get back to Arlen's grave, in Arlen's grave, it's kind of the same. Like there's purple flowers on it. So like Dunk would have seen whoever Arlen buried. And I can't remember if we ever find out who that is or if he ever references it in the novella. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not in definitely not in the Hedge Knight, and I don't think I wasn't really looking for it later, but I don't think so because we get don't get nearly as much Harlan
Yeah, yeah, I
later
think you're
on.
right. That was a nice
Um,
that made me curious.
I
Oh yeah.
I, I want to discuss this one at length in the deep dive because
Mm.
just in the very initial things that I'm seeing, there's conversations of, oh, is this meaning that Dunk didn't actually get knighted? Uh,
That he's not a knight.
and it hints, it hints at that. I think that it's trying to be, uh, I think it's trying to kind of throw a curveball at us. I didn't interpret it that way, but I think it just wanted it to mess with our heads with a bit. But I'm looking forward to watching again and maybe seeing some interviews that have conversations about that scene.
Yeah, because it's I think the idea of one of the most famous knights in all of Westeros and one who was the king's like the guardian to a very influential king was never was that the truest knight was not technically a true knight. I think that's a
Yeah.
wonderful narrative device, and you do not have to work that hard to make me believe it, folks. So feel free. Um, and then back in the present, Dunk is just Mr. He's got the Sunday scaries big time at this festival, and for good reason. He
Hmm.
winds up in the pub where they are giving like a funeral wake to Beesbury, and it's the Beesbury is just like don't stop, okay, like again, the way that every single character in every single house has just again used every inch of their time on screen, or the way that they've
Hmm.
constructed it to make every single second, every shot count, every piece of information you learn about these people. In this scene, we learn that the Beesburys are just fucking cool and really know their bees and like they're bees people. And then we also learn that Rowan is very smart and is going to be taking care of Raymond, who is just like magic bees. And Rowan's like, they put the queen inside. And this is just in a bar tent, which I think is the
Yeah.
mark of like, this reminds me of PaceyCon that Sunday of the convention. Like when
Yes.
you hit like one sweet like closing party at either Comic
Hmm.
Con or whatever your convention of choice is, and it's like Sunday afternoon, and you think you're dead, but then you get a little spurt of like, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm now back in PaceyCon in my head, so
that's
carry
fair.
on without me.
Oh my God, James Vanderbeek. Oh, um, anyway, yeah. So uh, after PaceyCon, Darren shows up, which Dunk is just never going to be happy to see Darren, never ever, and
No,
Darren knows this. And
you don't have to
so,
be psychic
no,
to see that coming.
oh, and Darren goes in and he's basically like, "You should take my brother." And Dunk is like, "Aren't you sad to have caused the deaths of these people?" And Darren's like, literally shrugs, and we don't deserve this comedy. I wish like part of me just wants to see like I wish Daenerys could have grown up in this household because I feel like she would have been like a really like unbalanced to Maekar, and Baylor would have liked her, and maybe Darren would have had like, I just if we rearrange them, it'll work out. Um, in a weird kind of sequence that just sort of ends abruptly. Darren is like, "Well, Arian wasn't always like this," and then immediately we cut to Egg's room, and Egg, seeing as he thinks he has no other options, takes a knife to Darren's room and tries to solve this problem himself.
Arians.
Yeah, to Arian's room when Arian is sleeping, is recovering from his injuries, and looks like he's going to do something so awful and until his father sees him. And I was
Mhm.
really hoping for like a hug. I was like, ooh, I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot to ask, but I was hoping that Makar would like hug his little boy once. And we got so close.
We
Like,
got
and the way
close.
and Egg, like the way Egg like drops the knife and you just see him weep because he's just so tired. This little boy is so tired. I Egg crying drops the knife. I crying like hang my head because it was just so no dialogue. So much of the show
No.
has no dialogue, which I
Yeah.
mean, and I say that as a compliment. It's yeah,
Yeah. Uh, uh, Dunk, after his conversation with Darren, goes back to see Makar and says, basically, I've met your two of your four sons, other three sons, and they ain't doing great. So maybe we take Egg and put him not here. Uh, I'm going to take him on the
spitballing.
road. We've all seen it. We've seen Almost Famous. It's going to be great. Um, and but basically, growing up posh,
Targaryen.
yeah, growing up Targati, does not it does not lead to good things, and Makar takes this under advisement, but doesn't really uh uh it doesn't really give an affirmative answer to it. So
I loved that moment because it I think that something that they've brought to this interpretation of Makar that is maybe not in the books, I don't think it is they really have, or maybe it's just the difference of the book medium, but Sam Spruill and the creative have really made us understand that Makar wants, like, loves his children,
yes.
but he is constrained by the same institutions that are toxic and have, and are hurting, that he can see are hurting his family members in ways that he is powerless to stop, which really is probably at the root of all of Makar's consternation, is that he is powerless.
Hmm.
He is supposed to be extremely powerful and is powerless to affect the important things in his
Yeah.
life or help the people that protect the people that he loves, which would drive me insane too if I were somebody like him.
Hmm.
And I liked that I liked that you saw him in this way, being like, I cannot let my son, my last son, go into the wilderness with you who got yourself almost got yourself killed like a couple of times at a tournament. I don't you think so from a parental perspective, I was like that I think
Yeah.
this makes a lot of sense.
This is really like saying, you know what's going to fix your kid? Going on tour with the Grateful Dead. That's gonna that's gonna put him on the straight and narrow.
We're gonna sleep at Lionel's house. We're gonna sleep
Yeah.
under the trees. Like we got Robin Riesling. He walks around barefoot. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Um, we then see Dunk getting ready to leave town, and Raymond shows up with Sweetfoot, the horse that he sold in episode 2, that Dunk sold in episode 2, because Lyonel bought him for him. Uh, and uh, Raymond says, or Dunk says, "Oh, that's sweet, but I'm one guy. I don't need 3 horses. I won't do great. Like, so why don't you take him?" Then we hear about Raymond's cider plans for a cider business, and that's the spinoff I want next.
The way
Please
that
and thank
Rowan
you.
is gonna franchise the shit out of Fossa Way cider. I wonder.
Yeah,
I want. I would have to check I would have to check the houses and
you
kind of
with
all,
me?
where they all kind of end up, because I kind of want to see if House Fossaway, like if there's any kind of like if Raymond Fossaway like manages to go down in history because like he and his wife started this like great cider
Well,
business, and
uh,
that's why the Fossaways
there
are.
there really are the red apple and the green apple Fossaways. This
I
is an
remember
actual split.
that. Yeah, and I can't remember if like the Green Apple Fossaways, like by the time we're at Game of Thrones, if they grow a little bit in prominence. And I hope that, and for now, until I find out otherwise, that's going to be my headcanon, because Rowan is an operator. Red's an operator.
Hmm.
And I'm just really proud of her because that Manderley guy seemed like a lot. Or Dundarian.
The dairy.
Dundarian.
Um, uh, eh, Dunk nails a penny to the tree he's been sleeping under. And Egg shows up in a very touching moment and says that Makar uh is sending Egg off to Squire for Dunk on the road, exactly like they discussed. It's very sweet. Uh, we see Arlen as they're riding away. We get a little a fade to black. And then we get Makar basically screaming Alvin, like Dave from the Chipmunks, because he
Really?
did not actually sign up for this.
No, he did not. No, he did
And
not.
that's a change. And that
That
is
is
a
a
beautiful
change.
change.
Yes. Yes. Excellent comp. He is Egg is a chipmunk.
Uh,
Make our
and
son.
then this, like, the opening and closing music of this episode were just, I have no words. I
No notes.
love 16 Tons. I
I've.
love this song. And it's the
Did you
original
know this song?
one. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, you
I've known it
did?
since I've known it as longer than I've known you because Rockapella did a cover of it on their album.
This
This
is
is a
even
song that I
better.
sing when I want to get in my low voice. Um, it is a classic a anti-capitalist union song.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. St. Peter, don't you call me because I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. It's
I'm just. I love everything about this. Like it's. I
yeah.
love the fact that like again, there's jazz, and basically I just like a needle drop in a fantasy series. And it's especially fun because like there are fantasy series that happen in our
Yeah,
universe.
there's The
Like they're
Magicians where it would have been.
exactly. There's Harry Potter, which like we didn't get any needle drops, but like there's situations where that makes sense. And in Game of Thrones has had this so perfectly constructed bubble of itself. And one of the reasons it's a global hit is because it is distinctly kind of not of any particular culture on this planet, or at least I think that's what helps with it. And
Hmm.
so it is a rare treat, I find, and something that I think is going to rocket this show in certain estimation. Well, maybe not, but I don't know. I thought it was really
In our
appreciative.
estimation.
Yes, in my estimations. I like colloquial music, whatever, or die. Big fan. Thank you. Oh,
Especially
we
doing it right after the right after the Ned Stark dying.
I I like that yeah. Yeah. It felt like it really felt like an arrival. to have that kind of to have we have the whistling and we had this sort of colloquial,
Mhm.
but that all felt kind of like nothing you'd hear off the show, which is very different than the music we opened the show with and closed it with. Like these are not things that
Yeah.
like nobody's whistling to this song. Nobody's like strumming jazz on their lute. It's before jazz.
I I could do an entire episode just on that. I'll be honest.
We what a great episode.
Yeah, I cannot wait to get into it more. I cannot wait to watch it again. Cannot wait to discuss it in depth. I cannot wait to read the interviews that Ira Parker has done have been stellar. So I cannot wait to read some of those and talk about them more a little later this week.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still taking it all in and I can't wait to watch it again and just look at stuff. Um it was so funny this week, which is something that unfortunately for Game of Thrones does not have, or House of the Dragon. They don't have the tonal shift necessary to soothe our broken hearts when our Ned Starks die and uh Ned Starks die and when our Oberyn Martells die and when our all of our people die. They did not get comedy afterwards. We got comedy.
Yeah.
We got that poor Maester who was like, I'm sorry, I'm a dummy. Somebody made a hangover, somebody did like a hangover mashup of like Makar trying to explain to King Darren like what happened, and it's just Bradley Cooper being like, I don't know, man. We kind of fucked up about just going to this like 13-year-old's birthday party and not coming back.
All right. So yeah, so we are going to be back a little later this week, and we will really bite into this thick, rare, bloody steak
Apple.
as opposed to the hot salt beef. Yes, this rare, bloody apple.
I was just thinking you
Now I
said
want
bite. If they
cider.
ever even bit the apple, oh man, an apple a day keeps the maester away, which in this case
It
feels
does,
like the better
which is a
plan.
good thing.
Yeah, folks, remember you can find us on Instagram at Got Thrones. You can find us on TikTok at Got underscore Thrones. You can find us on YouTube at Got Thrones Podcast. And we will be back with a longer episode and a trenchant discussion of the first season finale of HBO's Knights of the Nine Kingdoms. You know what
Night of
people
the Nine
always forget?
Kingdoms.
That's the thing. I feel like people count out the Iron Islands and Dorne. I think those are the two.
Hmm.
That's what I would. That in Delaware.
Yeah, everybody forgets Delaware.
Oh, Delaware. Happy Thanksgiving, folks.